virtue, strength, and spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. Do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond the wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. Whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Let's clear the usual observances. We're in the month of October. That means this month is Jamaica Red Cross Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Oral Health Month, National Heritage Month, Correctional Services Month, Cybersecurity Month, and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Meanwhile, National Customer Service Week is this week, and Jamaican German Week is around this time usually, so too Chartered Accountants Week, unless we missed it by a week. Those activities should be perhaps drawing to a close, if not already having occurred. It's Independence Day in Lesotho, Peace Day in Mozambique, St. Petronius Day in Italy, and National Cinnamon Bun Day in Sweden. It's World Animal Day and World Habitat Day. Hoy es martes, el 4 de octubre 2022. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. Before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not as fat as you imagine. C'est mardi le 4 octobre 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 10h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. Keep your own love letters. Throw away your own bank statements. All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 4th of October, 2022, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Enjoy your body. Use it every way you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. Those numbers, that particular number, the WhatsApp number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone or a not so smartphone, a laptop computer, tablet computer, desktop, any one of those. Then you will need internet connection. So go ahead and connect to the internet. But importantly, you want to check that there is, in fact, not just internet connection, but importantly, internet connectivity. One sure way of testing that is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse without issues, then it means you are up and running and connected. So we're looking forward to your usual feedback this afternoon. A couple of news items trending on the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website. Can we share them with you quickly, please? Bear with us. Number one, court wants medical report of businesswoman accused of husband's attempted murder. A November 8 return date has been set for businesswoman Venetia Johnson Lee to supply the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court with a medical report. Johnson Lee, who is charged with the attempted murder of her husband, is contending that she was the victim of abuse. Allegations are that she used her BMW motorcar to hit her husband on Constant Spring Road in St. Andrew in 2021, last year. It is also alleged that she had threatened to kill him. The accused, however, denied the allegations, claiming it was her husband who had battered her, resulting in her having to undergo surgery. The morning when she appeared in court, a new mention date was scheduled for her to bring her medical report. Bail was extended by the court. King's Counsel Tom Tavares Finson and attorney at law Marcus Moore are representing the accused. So that is that story. Let's give you some information on another story. Here's another one. Let's look at this story on both sides of the story. Donnelly Donaldson's blood found on curtains, sneakers, inside cop boyfriend apartment, court told. And there's a picture of Maitland, who is charged with murder, and Donnelly Donaldson. So the story is the Home Circuit Court this morning heard that DNA on a toothbrush belonging to social media influencer Donnelly Donaldson matched forensic evidence found in the apartment of her boyfriend, Constable Noel Maitland. The prosecution indicated that bloodstains were found on curtains and on a pair of sneakers inside Maitland's Chelsea Manor St. Andrew apartment. The court heard that Donaldson's mother, Sophia Lugg, who is in court, handed over the toothbrush to investigators, and forensic analysis was conducted against bloodstains collected inside the apartment. Maitland, who is charged with murder, was this morning hit with the additional charge of preventing the lawful burial of a corpse. A bail application is expected to be heard from Maitland's attorney, Christopher Townsend. Maitland's father arrived in the courtroom at 11:55 a.m., just before the break. The bail hearing resumed at 12:10 p.m. Donaldson was last seen at Constable Maitland's New Kingston apartment on July 11. She was reported missing on July 13. The police had indicated that investigations concluded that Donaldson was killed on July 12 between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Meanwhile, earlier, Donaldson supporters today staged a protest as Maitland appeared in court for her murder. They are against the granting of bail to Maitland. That's another of the stories trending on the Gleaner's website, jamaica-gleaner.com. And here's yet another. No court fine for JLP councillor Kari Douglas. Jamaica Labour Party JLP councillor for the Trafalgar Division in St. Andrew, Kari Douglas, this morning escaped being fined, arising from being found guilty of disorderly conduct. Instead, she was admonished and discharged in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The 36-year-old politician was arrested in April 2020 and slapped with a charge of disorderly conduct and breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act. It was reported that about 9:28 on April 7, 2020, Douglas was driving along Meadowbrook Avenue in St. Andrew when she was reportedly stopped by the police. It was further reported that while being questioned, she became boisterous and hurled abusive language at the police. Douglas challenged the charges and was subsequently found guilty of disorderly conduct following a trial. The charge of breaching the COVID-19 curfew order was earlier dropped by prosecution after her attorney, King's Counsel Peter Champagny, argued that Douglas was exempted under the Disaster Risk Management Act and argued that she was on her way home after dropping off care packages. Douglas, however, got off lightly on the disorder conduct charge after Champagny begged Parish Judge Jacqueline Wilcott to admonish and discharge his client. Champagny expressed that Douglas has learned her lesson and has matured. He also told the court that Douglas is a young politician who is passionate about what she believes is right, sometimes to her detriment, but that her heart is in the right place, and begged the judge to be lenient. The judge, in response, said, while she accepted that Douglas had started out with the best intention and that the situation went awry, she must set an example. One moment, please.
Actually, things that never crossed your right mind. You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. It's here again. 24 Karat and Zoid in association with the Jamaica Race Drivers Club presents Heroes of Speed. Dover Raceway National Heroes Day, Monday, October 17th. Come experience the thrill and excitement and see top racing drivers vying for supremacy and much more. Gates open at 7 a.m. General admission 3,000. Children 12 and under 1,000. Adults 6,000 and VIP 15,000. Limited spaces for VIP.
Good afternoon. One moment, please.
see him doing this. Tell me how. Keep your old love letters. Throw away your old bank statements. Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know.
So the judge in response said, while she accepted that Kari Douglas had started out with the best intention and that the situation went awry, she must set an example, as she's a part of the category of persons in society who are seen as role models. Nonetheless, the judge said, we all have a lesson to learn in how to deal with people and how to handle situations. In the meantime, Douglas is to return to court on Thursday for her trial on charges of assault and obstructing a police officer. The charges stemmed from an incident in Swallowfield, St. Andrew in February 2021, in which it is alleged that she obstructed the police while they were trying to arrest a man who was breaching the then nightly 8 p.m. curfew and hit one of the officers in the back of his neck. So that's another of the stories trending on the Gleaner's website, jamaica-gleaner.com. Ex-judge opens COVID inquiry into UK handling of pandemic. That's another story trending right now. A retired judge opened a public inquiry today, Tuesday, into how Britain handled the coronavirus pandemic, saying bereaved families and those who suffered would be at the heart of the proceedings. Former Court of Appeal Judge Heather Hallett said the inquiry would investigate the United Kingdom's preparedness for a pandemic, how the government responded, and whether the level of loss was inevitable or whether things could have been done better. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson agreed to hold an inquiry on his government's handling of the pandemic after pressure from bereaved families. COVID-19 has left more than 204,000 people in Britain dead in one of the worst death tolls in the world. Hallett said her main aim was to produce recommendations before another disaster strikes. And the story goes on. If you're just tuning in, this is both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. And we're using the opportunity at the start of the program, still the start for the last 48 minutes. There's the story that the Fisheries Authority is to establish an offshore radio communication system. That's good. And for those who follow the lives of those who are regarded as rich and famous, apparently Kim Kardashian has been fined $1 million by the Securities and Exchange Commission over crypto promotion. That's cryptocurrency promotion. And second man involved in Gorge floodgate breach charged. Those are the stories trending right now, according to the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. We also have on this side of the glass, Cuban in Georgia, who has been holding for 11 minutes and 50 seconds. All right, so Davin has signaled that we should go ahead with Cuban in Georgia because he has been holding longer than the other caller who is on standby. Good afternoon, Cuban in Georgia. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today? You don't seem to be in a happy mood today. What's wrong?
How do people display happiness?
Because when you greet somebody, you're gonna be like in a happy mood.
Yeah, but what determines what a happy mood is? What are the characteristics of a happy mood?
Well, when I greet you, you were like down, so I just thought you were not feeling upbeat.
Not at all. Far from it. Every day we realize we have lived to see another day. We're the happiest in the world. So, but happiness doesn't mean you go around grinning.
I'm not
it doesn't necessarily.
In the sense of humanity, but I'm just happy in the sense of a human being.
Well, we're happy for you.
All right. First thing, our young girls need help, and the government has not have a plan to assist them.
Where, in what area? One at a time. In what area do our young girls need help?
I heard of the girl being murdered, stabbed in the neck at Tivoli Garden High School.
No, not Tivoli Gardens High School. Have to be careful when you are putting information out there.
Kingston Technical.
Yes.
Kingston Technical.
Yes.
Yes. And Kingston Technical is on Beeson Street. That's where I used to live.
Yes.
Right? And I used to have a business place on Beeson Street. So I know these kids. I see them passing every day and greeting them and their parents and everything. So I'm wondering what is happening down there in Kingston.
No, you perhaps need to ask what is happening in Jamaica. And then you would answer the question for yourself.
Well, we need to ask the government who have responsibility, and the head of state who is the Queen of England or the King of England about these problems.
The fact of the matter is that these are entrenched problems that we've been having in our country, our beloved country, for decades. And
yes, sir.
Obviously, as a people, we have failed to do enough to cauterize the situation, to bring the state of affairs, the mental state of our people, and the general sense of duty to country, the extent to which we have been able to or failed to.
We have failed our people, Sir Malcolm, and we need to pick up the baton. Jamaicans and the government and the people need to pick up the baton and know that we have to go back to our roots. Right? We cannot allow these things to be happening in the country and there is no response. There is no.
Well, maybe that's a part of the problem. That's not a bad thing, because then that's a part of the problem. We're what you're seemingly saying is that we have been just reacting. Something happens, we react, as opposed to being proactive. We see something coming, we anticipate something is going to happen, and we do something, whether it is to share the information with an individual, institution, or organization that can possibly stop it from happening, and also if the extent to which we're able to excoriate, I don't know if that's the word I want, that's the one that came to mind, but the extent to which we're able to help people to better deal with other people, the extent to which we're able to encourage more of our people to reason things out, things out, and recognize that there is nothing but bad things to be gained from resorting to violence. It's only going to make matters worse. Yes.
You know what I said the other day? I said, what if we put all the bad peoples, like the horrible peoples, in one space for a moment and see what's gonna happen?
Who determines who is bad, and what are the determining factors of who are these bad people of whom you speak? How do you arrive at the position that somebody is a bad person?
Horrible peoples, I said.
Or even horrible. How do you arrive at that?
Love or no humanity or whatever. Who are criminals then?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Put them in a one space and see what the reaction would be.
No, but right? the law and the Constitution and the lawyers of this country wouldn't allow you to do that.
I know, but sometimes we gotta try different measures for different situations.
Yes, but you have to be mindful as well that you don't want to break the law in order to enforce the law or enhance the law.
Yes, I know that. But so Malcolm, we've been having a breakdown in our country for so many years and decades, from 1970, there has been no redress from the breakdown and the disintegration of Jamaica and the what you call it, the sellout and whatever what they're doing to the governments, both of them, right? And we don't see no investment. And I'm here.
But you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself, because if you're talking about sellout, that is not just that is not just divestment. That is investment. But you're saying in the one breath that we're selling out, which is both divestment and investment. But at the same time, you're saying there is no investment. So what are you saying?
I need to see investment in transportation. I need to see investment in housing. I need to see investment in food.
Well, we invest in transportation every day. It's called the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, the JUTC.
Yes, but what about the trains? I need to see the trains up and running.
Yeah, it's not that easy. Well, first of all, you need people who are prepared.
We were the first country in the world to have a train system.
Not first. Number 3 in the world, behind the UK and
third,
Canada.
Yes, sir. Forgive me. Third. So why are we down? We should have tram cars and trains running instead of having these taxis and stuff so people can move about in a decent manner and have a good living ability to access whatever they want to access. But there is no investment from the government.
Technically speaking, the government presides over limited resources.
Well, we can't have that, Sir Malcolm.
Well, that's what we have.
To pump in more money in the country and not into foreign things. We need to see the government investing in people who are paying taxes.
One moment, please. One moment.
Yes, sir.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high-quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3 o'clock.
For quick, accurate, and reliable blood glucose readings, get your AccuCheck Active and AccuCheck Performa with an easy-to-read display, results in just 5 seconds, and lifetime warranty. AccuCheck Active and AccuCheck Performa, because we care. Available in pharmacies island-wide. Distributed by Lasco Distributors Limited Pharmaceutical Division. Protect yourself and stay safe.
The Issa Manning Cup Schoolboy Football Competition is in full swing, and Power Play will bring you live reports and updates on the football matches. Listen to every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Live reports will be brought to you by Chada Distributors Limited, KFC, and Alice Duane and Company Limited.
For the world is full of trickery, but that does not blind you to what virtue there is.
Yes, Cuban in Georgia. We're going to have to wrap this shortly because we have other callers on standby.
Okay. So we need the government to invest taxpayers' money more into transportation. We need a bridge for the Raya Corby right there. We need a bridge, overhead bridge, so that we don't have to go through this flooding on this when it comes to hurricane season in the Raya Corby.
Well, there's a road. There's a highway for that. There's a highway that takes you away from that area.
But people are still going there and get trapped and killed. So we want to know what the government is investing our taxpayers' money.
No, which is why people.
Next thing, Sir Malcolm, before I go. There is a road in Port Antonio, Bermuda Road, from I was a little boy. That's where I was born, right? And the member of parliament for Port Antonio East.
Portland East, not Port Antonio East. Portland East.
Portland East, yes. Shaheen, what's her name? I don't.
No, you have your wires crossed now.
No, I'm not talking.
Sadly,
physical on her.
That's
I'm
right.
talking about Miss Vaz. Yes.
Mrs. Anne-Marie Vaz.
Yes, we need to see some work done on the Bermuda Road, because that road has been in a deplorable condition for years, for decades.
When was the last time you were on the Bermuda Road?
When I was in Jamaica.
When was that?
Stone like
when was that? When was that?
1998 or 1999, somewhere around there.
And when was the last time you were in Portland on that road, on the Bermuda Road?
Well, I speak to my family and they said nothing have been done to it.
Oh, okay.
And the call have been going out to the parish council, going out to the government, going out to the member of parliament, and nothing have been done to this road. So we need assistance, and we need to hear something from the member of parliament about this road.
All right. Well,
I spoke to Mr. Shaw, and Mr. Shaw said this is a parochial road, right? So we need the member of parliament to decide which is it a parochial road or is a parish council road.
Same thing.
Yeah, so we need this road to be fixed. We cannot live like this, Sir Malcolm. We are living in deplorable conditions for black people, and the government have no eyes to see that black people is living in a terrible condition, right? We need help. Our young girls and our young boys need help. And the government is not providing no assistance whatsoever to help us or to help my family them back in Jamaica.
Well, you know, when you start speaking in absolutes, people start to question your position. It's understood. No, are you going to listen? Are you going to listen?
Yes.
I'm saying to you that when you start speaking in absolute terms or extreme terms, you undermine your position, whatever you're talking about. So I'm saying to you to say, all right, I'm sorry. I don't think you want to continue. We have to go to another caller. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Public educator. You called me after something to me the other evening.
Yeah, I was saying that looks like you're a member of you have joined the Jamaican government, which is still connected to the monarchy in the UK, that you have joined them to invite the prince from Ethiopia to join us in our heritage celebrations. Because you have always been talking about Ethiopia, so I have to think that maybe you had something to do with that. You didn't hear about it in the news? Of course, because I heard you speaking earlier on with Clive Mullings, I think it was.
No. Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
So, when I said differently, now that we are...
So hold on, man, slow down. You weren't involved in that decision, because you're always talking about Ethiopia and
Yes.
and black, gold, and green, and so on, red, gold, and green.
Yeah.
So you didn't know anything about it initially.
Yes, I didn't know anything about it.
When did you find out about it?
Yes, we know about it, because we are now speaking on the matter.
Right. So you didn't have anything to do with it. I thought you were the one who petitioned the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport to invite the President of the Crown Council of Ethiopia, His Imperial Highness Prince Ermias Sali Selassie, to be Jamaica's special guest for Heritage Week.
King Charles the third government, the Governor General and the Prime Minister and the whole name. And them do it. The European Union tell them say black history supposed to be teach in the black people them curriculum. You know? So now that we say the government I invite His Royal Highness, you know, the crown,
the President of the Crown Council of Ethiopia, His Imperial Highness.
Yeah, so we, the black royalty in Jamaica, here we fight the red, black and green and the red, gold and green banner represent such a kingdom here who always talking to this Jamaica government. We pray yourself, you know. So now that we see him a welcome the Ethiopian monarch. I'm saying I move away from the royal to come over there, the British royal. So now that they are moving away and the wholeness and our Jamaicans want to know if we're going to move now to the Ethiopia monarchy system of government, which represents us worldwide.
But if you are among those who are calling for the abolition of the monarchy in relation to Jamaica's system of government, then how is it that you are celebrating Prince Ermias Sale Selassie, who is the President of the Crown Council of Ethiopia, His Imperial Highness?
Yeah.
How, I don't understand. That seems like a contradiction in terms.
Listen. We black people here in Jamaica is the sons and daughter of such a king. The crown, the throne of Ethiopia. We are the black royalty of such a kingdom, you know? It's a black royal sovereign.
So it only becomes problematic if the monarchy, the people who make up the monarchy are white. That's the only time you have a problem with it.
We have a monarchy ourselves. We have a white monarchy who oppresses the world.
But what about those who will argue that monarchies from time immemorial at some point or another have been engaged in questionable activities and behaviors against the people who they would consider to be beneath them?
No. Listen this. We can't follow the British propaganda, the white men propaganda being spread by us as a people and Africa and demonize Africa and our father, you know? We don't follow them in this judgment, you know?
And you think Prince Ermias Sale Selassie is immune from propaganda and everything else?
No, because we never stop propaganda, the black man yet. The world propaganda, we are telling so we can't unite.
So the black man is not involved in spreading propaganda?
Black, white, like who defend this constitutional monarchy system of government. King Charles III, who call themselves Jamaican.
But can you actually swear for monarchists and royalists? Can you swear for them?
I am, and so are you.
No, can you swear for them?
Yeah, we can swear for a black them. A black sovereign nation, well, kingdom, who never do no one nothing. We have nothing to say, man. And then in slavery, Europe come to Africa and match up Africa. So I mean, you can't say, we never do nobody no wrong, you know. Who we slave? We slave the Chinese, the white, the coolie, none of them. It is about kingdom against kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bible. So we are only defending our portion, our monarchy system of government, a black royal dynasty, kingdom coming from King David to Solomon. You know?
Yes.
We are the son and daughter of such a kingdom, black people. So know that we say Prime Minister Andrew Warnes who then want to move away. Don't want to know where my move away go. You can go hand over the people and find the people to a monarchy system of our own.
Well, that is the plan, and the Minister of Constitutional and Legal Affairs tells us that the process has started.
Okay, because this has gone too long. From 1956, it's supposed to be done. The red, black, and green flag and the red, gold, and green flag, which represent Ethiopia, crown is supposed to fly here on this island.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And successive government.
The Jamaican flag will be the flag that is flown here.
Jamaican flag, a charge flag, in overseas territory flag, say no to that, no?
No, if all things considered, if the country eventually becomes a republic, then it would be all Jamaican flag, not an Ethiopian flag.
A republic under the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth black.
No, it would be a member of a group of countries that are former Commonwealth countries, independent countries, including about was Africa alone is it?
19.
The 19. There you go.
Mm-hmm. So me I tell you, and all of those 19 states were in there, I would then scramble and control themselves. Them system of government so they become a free trade.
But that would be a waste for any country who enjoy a level of sovereignty to take on that position.
All right, look on this. This is what the Aaron and the Queen did. Yes. You know, so they carry a cotton pan. Gun carriage. You know what that means? They must show you where the British rule is, it's called gun. Where them go in and plunder people, country and nation. And that, let's show you what they kind of. All of this money them get dropped on that. The gun thing, that's why we have a gun world here today.
All right, let's save that for the next chapter. Thank you very much for the call. All the best. We're up on a break. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We'll be back in just a moment.
One thing every day that scares you. Sing. Don't listen to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. The Caribbean Maritime University, an ISO certified institution, offers Bachelor of Science degrees in cruise shipping, Bachelor of Engineering degrees, logistics, marine tourism, port management, security administration and management, and more. For further information, call 876-924-8150, 876-924-8175, or email info@cmu.edu.jm.
Stretch. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Get plenty of calcium.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Buenas tardes. Welcome. Bienvenido.
Bien. Yeah, Rush a while ago, you know. I'm kind of right with some things, but, you know, I'm wrong with some others. Because right now, Ethiopia in a turmoil, you know.
Yeah, so the Tigray region and
the whole. And, you know, even the prince who are coming on is like on a campaign thing, you know. The prince that come here a campaign, the government a campaign. You know, so a two things, you know, the government are invited to bring back the Rasta society back in a freedom corner. The prince a campaign outside of Ethiopia to get 3 months. So we can get back in Ethiopia. But Ethiopia thing kind of turmoil and all. Me I go Africa, Ghana, me I go some stable country in Africa. Me nah go, I'm in the rap, I mean I say that. Me nah go, Ethiopia. Because Ethiopia and a holy party. You understand, Samalko?
Yes.
Yeah, but what I call about you now is the British try. You know? I'm wondering if it was a government MP that run that constituency, if that British is correct.
Well, you naturally have found in the system of government in Jamaica that the representatives of the people aligned to certain political parties at certain periods of time are better able to get things done, or usually better able to get more things done because of the fact that they are party faithfuls.
Yeah, well, the people must suffer. The people must suffer. The people must give them tax and everything. They shouldn't go like that.
And the people must let their voices be heard collectively. There is strength in numbers. The people have to insist that and demand a higher quality of service.
Yeah. It reminds me back in that by-election, before the by-election in Portland, where the same, what's she name, Val, run for the seat. Where when she was a caretaker, she fixing bridge. You know, it come back again when the election in a center master where some people forget some sugar money. And when little before the election, at the caretaker, I pay the people the sugar money. When the MP is there and the MP that you can't have a Jamaica run like this. You know, we have to be on a level playing field, as you may always say. You know, the thing has to be on a level playing field. Because all that we have tried a long time here, the people have about that we just fix. You know, and I'm looking now, maybe because the MP where it's a no nonsense MP down there, them can't bring a caretaker to fix it.
Who is the no nonsense MP down there?
Them still no Nikhil Phillips.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So them still no one fix it. So them keep on. What is going on with America? You know?
Well, the constituents need to find out from their representative what is happening. Their representatives, the councillor and the member of parliament.
You know, because we have to just do the thing on a plain of white plain. I still wear Miss Douglas like she won the cases. Is that so?
I'm not sure winning is the appropriate word, but because we're dealing with a legal matter, so let's give you the accurate designation of what exactly happened. Right. So she has another matter to answer too, but on this particular matter, the particular one where there will not be any court fine. She this morning she escaped being fined arising from being found guilty of disorderly conduct. So she was in fact in this case found guilty of disorderly conduct, but she was not fined. Instead, she was admonished and discharged. And for those who are wondering, what does that mean? What do you mean by admonish? Well, it means that she has been warned or reprimanded firmly. So that's what admonished means, to be warned or reprimanded firmly. So that's the extent of her punishment. She has been She was admonished and discharged, meaning she was free to go after that in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Not hearing you now. Something has gone wrong with your line. Are you there?
That you think it look good, and the people who have to pay $230,000, and in the church you pay $1 million. Fine.
Well, it certainly would be grating on the nerves of those who have experienced otherwise. There's no question about that. And even the judge herself makes reference to the fact that Carrie Douglas, being a politician, should set an example.
Sure.
Because she's part of the category of persons, the judge said, in society who are seen as role models.
I've seen weird. They call upon the minister, the former minister, prime minister in England, to have an inquiry about the COVID, how to deal with the COVID thing. Oh, you see the COVID thing deal down here, Mr. Malcolm. You would do the prime minister A plus.
No, we're not into A and B and 1, 2, 3. We're into what is evident, and what is evident, as most people agree, at the very outset of this pandemic, it appeared that the state had most things under control in the very early stages when the situation started to grow. And then as COVID-19 got bigger and bigger, it tested some people, some of the decision makers, and their ability and capacity. And it also became an opportunity for those in the trenches and for those involved to be learning on the spot, to be learning on the job, because none of us would have experienced the Spanish flu 100 years ago. And so there are people who, you're into the business of grading, there are people who would be a little lenient, especially in that first period. I mean, the news going all over the world was how Jamaica was managing the pandemic, and it was quite admirable. Then there are different issues at different points that came up: the business of the oxygen supply, and the adequacy of our hospitals and other health facilities, etc. But it would be quite useful, we think, because when I read the story earlier today, I thought to myself, I didn't voice it at the time, but I thought to myself, why not have one of these in Jamaica so that we can properly assess how we managed COVID-19 in Jamaica?
Yeah, we really want one.
Yeah, so that's not a bad idea at all.
Because I think how much percent of people take the vaccine?
That's a good question. Haven't seen that figure in a while. I would have to check. But
as I remember, the prime minister did have a island-wide tour, round and round.
yes. Yeah, and part of that, and this is where people have to think and recognize that if you're living in a society where the trust level is so low, especially when it comes on to politicians, police, pastors, prisoners, people, all around, there's more than enough to go around in terms of the level of mistrust, the high level of mistrust in Jamaica. So when you set out on a path of introducing something as new as a COVID-19 vaccine, and you are a minister of health or a prime minister, considering that the trust level is already low, you would expect that to be problematic in the face of an effort to get an entire nation vaccinated.
And sometimes it's the way you deal with it.
Well, they
And the way you go about it.
fair enough, but that would have to mean as well that you do not use your regular everyday people who people don't necessarily trust or willingly support or are divided politically about. So, for example, in which country was it that we did share on this program when it happened? Which country was that again? Ouch. There was a particular country, and what they did was to give the head of their army a free hand to manage the COVID-19 situation. That's what they did. And he did a remarkable job. We shared it on this program. It's just that I'm not remembering which country that was. No.
I think that country, you know, wait, I remember the country. It's not Madagascar.
Madagascar. No, it's not Madagascar.
Yeah. Oh, I was feeling COVID things get on. One of the time they would have them own like certain bushel and boil and all this thing. Where the COVID thing I get the regular way.
Yeah.
You know. But I see we're Putin now. I see we're Putin them like them want to draw for them lowest grade them lowest grade nuclear weapon. Like now you talk like the most grade because that's that Ukraine gets sourced from America and weapon and them kind of put up a war and I recover back some place. But me like Putin now say use some light. So them say them light part of the nuclear weapon.
Well, we don't know the part, but clearly Putin was not backward in making it clear that he would be prepared to employ that kind of source and force. I'm so sorry, we have to break for a feature. And if I don't know if you're able to call us back or if you'd like to leave your number and we could call you back when we're able to take calls again.
No, man, it's okay. I will leave my number, but I don't want to come on back on the program.
All right. Okay, no problem. Thank you for the call.
When you were young, prices were reasonable.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:13. The Caribbean Maritime University, an ISO certified institution, offers Bachelor of Science degrees in cruise shipping, Bachelor of Engineering degrees, logistics, marine tourism, port management, security administration and management, and more. For further information, call 876-924-8150, 876-924-8175, or email info@cmu.edu.jm.
all you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century, packed into one program. Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie. Farm Talk, showcasing cutting-edge agricultural products, services, and practices. Farm Talk, keeping focus on issues affecting the farming community. Farm Talk, stimulating discourse to propel agriculture as a national tool for development. Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, the farmer's best friend.
When I listen to you in the mornings and the way you interview the people so that us as farmers can really understand, you break it down, it's really powerful.
Wake up to Farm Talk, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
It's the show that engages you with stimulating and intriguing discussions to spice up your night. It's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 p.m. on to midnight.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
Hear pertinent advice and share your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters. Get the answers you need for your burning questions. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
You know, look like she did love me. But the still, that she pushed me out. So, maybe, yeah.
That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, keeping your company Mondays to Thursdays from 10 p.m. till midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear, I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing upon the shores where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe. Our hearts beat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I die away from my island, I pray to God you'll take me home.
Peter Gracie, the author and presenter of the poem, This is Jamaica. It's time for the This is Jamaica interview segment here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And a good time to remind you of the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship 2022. It's brought to you by This is Jamaica in association with Dr. Dwayne Dice of Education Solutions International Incorporated. It's the second annual Peter Gracie This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship Competition 2022. And it remains to be seen who will emerge with the best video rendition of This is Jamaica by Peter Gracie. General registration opened on the 5th of September, continued to the 23rd. There was the first round video rendition submission on the 30th of September. And here's a reminder that the scholarship was created, that This is Jamaica Scholarship was created to empower children to restore and preserve Jamaican culture through poetry, drama, and the arts, to explore poetry as an educational building block, and to promote literacy. We hope to inspire and motivate students to express themselves freely through this poem, This is Jamaica, written by Peter Gracie. The eligibility criteria open to students 6 to 17 years old, currently enrolled in school during the scholarship period. Parent or guardian must give permission. They must register at thisisjamaica.org/scholarships. Applications must be submitted and by the 23rd of September, and video renditions by September 30th. So those who were serious about the competition would have done all of that already. The prizes: third place, $250, second place $500, and first place $1,000. For more information, you can visit thisisjamaica.org. Thisisjamaica.org. Now to introduce our guest on this week's interview segment of both sides of the story, the interview segment of This is Jamaica. Our guest is a retired Army major, a security consultant involved in security and intelligence training throughout the Caribbean region. He has served for 22 years in the Jamaica Defence Force, trained at the Defence Intelligence Security School in England, the Canadian Military Staff School in Toronto, Canada, Canadian Landed Forces Command Staff College, Kingston, Ontario, Canada. He served as Deputy Director and a founding member of the National Firearms and Drug Intelligence Center of Jamaica, NFDIC, now NIB, founder and former head of the Border Protection Unit of the Jamaica Customs Agency, present lecturer at the Caribbean Regional Drug Law Enforcement Training Center, awarded the Medal of Honor General Service, Grenada, and the Medal of Honor for Meritorious Service to Jamaica. He now spends most of his time doing voluntary work and writing. Present projects include the Adopter School program with Boscobel Primary and Infant School in St. Mary, ambassador for Integrated Diaspora Services in the Southern United States and the Caribbean, author of 3 books, Core Values, A Soldier's Story, La Avispa, The Wasp, and Mission Driven, which is the sequel to La Avispa. He is based in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's say hello and welcome to Major Stanley Ford. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, and thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
For being invited on by Mr. Gracie.
Yes, indeed.
And I must say his poem, This is Jamaica, and we can say this is a Jamaican.
That's right.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I'm sort of intrigued, very intrigued, I must say, by the whole idea of the poem and what he wants to do with poetry.
Yes.
Especially because I'm now involved in the school program, as you mentioned, in passing.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm here.
And it's good to have you. Welcome. So how did you connect with Peter Gracie? Is he one of your longtime friends or an acquaintance?
Funny enough, I would say an acquaintance now. I saw him on Facebook some time ago, and I think we linked up then as friends on Facebook. And then he reached out to me recently about this poetry. And since we had something in common with him doing the poetry for the school and me doing the adopter school program, I think we just connected on that. And I guess he figured it would be a good thing for me to come on your program.
Yes, and we're happy that you said yes. Thank you very much. So then, in terms of poetry, I mean, when you hear the word poetry, when people talk about poems, what kind of emotions do those words evoke?
Well, I guess it's a range of emotion, really, and it ranges right across the board. And I suppose this is why what he says about using poetry as a kind of a platform, a learning tool, really jumps out at me.
Yes.
Because I think it could be used very, very successfully, and in doing just that. In days gone by, we were taught in school, to analyze, to break down the poems and that we were exposed to, and so on. And in a sense, what he's saying is basically that. Let us use poetry to drive a kind of, you could almost say, a teaching method.
Yes.
How to get a topic or subject across, effectively.
And also in this country, this music-loving country, which means we would have to have some kind of talent, some kind of creativity to write and to rhyme. And therefore, can you imagine if we were really using that kind of energy and that natural ability to be poetic, to use that when we have a little skirmish or an argument with a friend or a colleague or a neighbor, and we start use the lyrics, and then both of us now challenging each other lyrically in terms of that kind of a to and fro. I'm not sure if people recognize the value intrinsic in all of this.
Exactly. That is so awesome, because sometimes you see guys just sitting around, schoolgirls sitting around, and all of a sudden it's an impromptu thing that they're coming up with. Doubling.
Yes.
Here and then. So yes, by all means, it certainly is something that we should explore and try to build on, because I do say we have like the natural sort of affinity to that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is the idea. And right. And so now, in terms of your writing, you give us an idea of how you became a writer.
Oh my goodness, how I became a writer. To be honest, from back in school, my school days, I would dabble in just topics of the day, and try to sit and write my own little version, little views on them. And they were mainly for my own personal use. So although I was in Jamaica there growing up, I remember writing something, an article on Martin Luther King, and it was actually a tragic one, because I projected that he was going to be assassinated.
Oh wow!
Because of what he stood for, and that he was eventually, and that was a very sad thing for me.
Yes.
But I also wrote other little stories, in those days. And
sorry, tell us some more right after the break, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Crime Stop Jamaica unsolved. Help us to solve the murder of 9-year-old Gabriel King, who was killed shortly after 11:30 a.m. on Thursday, January 13, 2022. Gabriel was with his mother in a blue SUV. She stopped the potholes and was suddenly hit in the face and dragged from the car. Her assailant drove away with young Gabriel. The SUV was found later on Fairfield Avenue with Gabriel on the back seat. Crime Stop and concerned citizens are offering a total reward of $1 million for information leading to an arrest and charge. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311. Solving crime pays.
The Issa Manning Cup schoolboy football competition is in full swing, and Power Play will bring you live reports and updates on the football matches. Listen to every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Live reports will be brought to you by Chada Distributors Limited, KFC, and Alice Duane Company Limited.
You can't grasp now how much possibility.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. It's the interview segment of This is Jamaica here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Major Stanley Ford is our guest. I think you were giving us some more meat on the bone when it comes to your writing skills when we had to take the break, Major Ford.
Yes, I was. I also dabbled in a little poetry and so on to it. So in fact, I have a few fitted and have my flash drive here to bring up one that I could read to you.
Please do.
But I did do a little poetry. One was entitled "The Queen," and if I can remember a little of it, but it was he stood there in abject anger and so on, and as he raised his hand, I can't remember it.
Yes.
He raised his hand to hit her, but she just looked at him and she said, "Am I not your queen?" And his eyes fell, were cast down, and his hand followed suit. And he said to himself, "How could I have been so cruel? How could I have been so mean? She is, in fact, my queen." And it's a short poem, but and those are not the exact words.
Yes.
But, those from my memory.
I see.
But the other books I've written are based on things, sort of experiences in Jamaica. There is one that I wrote about that's not published yet. I still have it somewhere sitting. It's called My Story, and it was about a young lady who, growing up in the country, and then she, as a Jamaican, she got a break in athletics and was doing quite well. Then she came, worked in the bank and so on. Then she was going overseas on a little trip, and somebody, gave her something to take up. And of course, all was not quite well with what she took up, so she ended up in jail in the States. But then she came back to Jamaica and pulled her life together and became a very, very successful teacher. And of course, I go through some of the dramas and traumas that the teachers, unfortunately, go through these days. So that's one book. It's still there, not printed as yet. The other book I did was a Core Value. Now, Core Value is more or less contemporary history of Jamaica, so to speak, and it starts more or less in the 60s and up to the present time, or up till I left the military, because it was written from the standpoint, more or less, of a military person, how we saw things from the inside, as military people. And also it went through a little of the history of the JDF. I started off, first of all, with my family, a little about my family and how I got interested in the military stuff. Be a cadet from my days as a cadet, which in fact is a story in itself. I was at school once, and one of my friends just said to me, "Stanley, wouldn't you like to go and join the cadets in camp?" And I said, "Sure, yes, let's go." And we went down, and they started training us. The following week, my friend didn't come back, but I continued. I continued right through the cadets. It had gotten under my skin so much. And then when I left the cadets, I went and joined the military. So, you see, just like that, and my military service started. And of course, the book goes through our going into Grenada and all the other experiences that I gathered there. For example, after Hurricane Hugo, I remember this one very clearly. My commanding officer, Colonel Ogilvy at the time, he said to me, he called me and said, "Stanley, I want you to pack an overnight bag we're going down to Grenada, to Antigua, to do a reconnaissance of, to see what assistance Jamaica can give to the Caribbean, the areas that were devastated by Hurricane Hugo. So myself and another officer and a few other people went down to Antigua, only to arrive there and then the people saying that they had sort of penciled out a little project or a program for what should happen down there. But they wanted a Jamaican to manage the whole program. So, oh yes, Peter Brady, who became chief of staff later on, he turned to me and he said, Stanley, you know who that is? So that's me. So with my little overnight bag, I ended up spending about 3 months in Antigua.
Wow.
Right? Naturally, they had to fly in my stuff for me.
I was about to say that's a rather handy overnight bag.
We quickly refitted. Because we were now looking after Antigua itself, Montserrat, which was terribly devastated, St. Kitts, and Nevis.
Yes.
So I brought in soldiers. We got in soldiers from Jamaica, soldiers from Trinidad, and soldiers from Guyana, and a few from Barbados. And so I dispersed them to the various areas, managed to set up an office at the airport in Antigua, which was very convenient because there's the international airport, so the aid and assistance could come in there. And from there, we divided it and sent it out to the other places. And that went quite well. So that was a part of another part of the book. Then in the later chapters, I talked about life after the JDF, working out in the civil world, and some of the things I came across, especially as a security person, security consultant, and how some things can be diffused, some things can really be changed if we just look at some of the causes and try to come up with plans as to how to deal with those situations, rather than always trying to use the hammer to hit the little quicksilver and it scatters all over the place, but plan and deal with it. And I've seen that work on a number of occasions. So that's all there in the book.
So where is this and the other books? Where are these books available?
Okay, they're all available online from Amazon or from Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble or online from Amazon. The other two books now, they are fiction. La Avispa.
Yes, the Wasp.
The Wasp, right? It's a book. It deals mainly with the Mexican drug cartel. So I got naturally interested in that because of the
nature of your work and service.
The nature of my work in the intelligence, and so I was particularly interested in that era too, Mexico and the cartels. So I did an extensive research and study in that, and so I was able to draw upon a lot of that in writing the book. I just created an individual. Her name is Juanita. Good, strong Spanish name, Juanita.
Yes.
And she is the character in the book. And so she had her in the first book. What it was, how it started. She was actually from Dominica. Dominican Republic. And studying in the States, she was got bored with college. She didn't like college, so she went into the Marines. And while being trained as a U.S. Marine, her parents were accidentally killed by cartel personnel. So she, of course, was devastated. And she left the Marine as a qualified sniper because she was specializing in that, and decided she was going to go after these people. So she did. Now the second book, Mission Driven, spins off from that because, as I say, in the end, she thought that she having now removed those persons who had destroyed her family, she figured that she could settle down to life, a normal life, and she planned to settle in Jamaica. Actually, started a business there and everything. But then they caught up with her there, and so she realized that she had to get back into action. And now her mission was different. She was going to go after the head of all the major cartels so as to take them out, create chaos and whatever, the infighting that would follow. And so she looked at each one as a separate mission, hence the title, Mission Driven. But very exciting stuff.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
She's all over Mexico. She's operating here in Jamaica.
Yes.
And even to as far as Spain. And out in the Amazonian jungle, etc. And you'll find that the writing, I try to tie it in also a lot with things that are happening, even at present.
Yes.
Like what's happening in the Amazon area, where the people who are always in isolation, the tribes, and the people keep trying to encroach on their area.
Yes.
And it's creating problems there right now. And so she had to go in to help them out in a situation.
I think we're definitely going to need a sequel, just as. But in the interest of time, and we seriously perhaps need to invite you to come back and share some more.
I'll be happy.
But in the meantime, though, we want to get a word in on your role as ambassador with Integrated Diaspora Services, and also quickly on the Adopter School program with Boscobel Primary and Infant School. So let's see if we can fit those in quickly after the break.
Right.
One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. You are a child.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4. ¿Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4 heures. 现在是几点了？4点. 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. You've been listening to the This is Jamaica interview segment here on Both Sides of the Story. And let's remind you that Dr. Dwayne Dice of Education Solutions International, Inc., in cooperation, in association with Peter Gracie, have been busy playing their part to ensure the success of the Peter Gracie This is Jamaica Scholarship 2022. First prize $1,000, second prize $500, third prize $250. You can go to thisisjamaica.org for more information. thisisjamaica.org. The goal is to identify the best video rendition of This is Jamaica by Peter Gracie. And submissions have started already. First round video renditions submitted by the 30th of September. And as soon as there are other developments with respect to the competition, we will let you know. In the meantime, let's see if we can concisely share with you these two other areas that our guest, Major Stanley Ford, has been involved in as an ambassador for Integrated Diaspora Services, IDS, in the southern United States and the Caribbean. In a sentence, if you can, Major Stanley Ford, what is that all about?
Okay, IDS, as you probably know, Dervan, is a company that was developed to assist Jamaicans and others living overseas who would like to do business in Jamaica. So in a nutshell, that's it. If someone is living overseas but would like to do business in Jamaica, whether it is a house they want to buy in Jamaica or a piece they want, a house constructed, IDS will assist them in doing that. Also, they offer other services such as tax TRN numbers, getting TRN numbers, the renewal of passports. If somebody needs a title for land in Jamaica, they will also do it. And that's why the company is referred to as the one-stop shop, because they will just about do anything that is possible from wherever you are in the world. Now, as an ambassador, I'm the person here representing the southern United States and the Caribbean. What that means is that anybody who would like to do business in Jamaica, they can reach out to me. They can they can contact me, and I will get the necessary contact details and pass it on to the company back in Jamaica, who will then make the link with those persons by phone or by email, and then they take it from there. So my main job is to arrange meetings with persons and organizations to discuss the matter of doing business in Jamaica, and also to assist IDS here where they need to do things like pop-up shops, etc. So in a nutshell, that's my function with IDS.
And your Adopter School project?
Yes, my Adopter School project. Now this is near and dear to my heart, I must say. It was in February of this year. I just thought about it and said, why not adopt a school in Jamaica? And of course, I thought of my first primary school, which was in Bascabel in St. Mary. And so I selected that, and I made contact with the principal there. And when I explained what I was trying to do, she was very keen. And also, she was a new principal there, having just taken over in January, just a month before. So when I outlined that we were going to try to assist, then she was all on board. So I started by reaching out to folks, my friends up here in the United States, and telling them what I was doing. And right away, a few people jumped on board and made contribution. This one is almost humorous, Dervan. Yes. We had just formed a new chapter of the Jamaica Ex-Soldiers Association here in Atlanta. In fact, we have our inaugural meeting launch on Saturday coming. And we were going to the first meeting. And I said to them, I want you guys to bring along anything you can find, from pencils, pen, notebooks, so things like that, because I'm putting together a barrel to. So I turned up at the meeting with a box, a carton box, that they could have dropped the things in. I was pleasantly surprised when, as I drove in, one SUV drove over beside my car and started to offload.
Oh, wow.
Reams of paper, books, even a microwave oven. I had a full SUV going back home. So I was able to pack 3 barrels from that, along with some other things that I had brought, and ship them off to the school. And so apart from giving the material like that, what I also have done is develop a roster where I try to get persons from different disciplines, to go and talk to the students.
Mentorship.
And exactly right. And if the teachers also, to try and encourage the teachers, because we have to acknowledge that they go through rough times these days. So it's a twofold thing: encourage them and also to mentor the children.
I know for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, like my next person visiting them in another matter of a few days is a former JDF pilot, Captain Dudley Beak. He's going to be speaking to them, and etc.
Excellent. We definitely have to have you back on perhaps not just both sides of the story, but also the Jamaican diaspora live online, because we haven't even talked about the new arm or the new branch of the Ex-Soldiers Association, Jamaica Ex-Soldiers Association.
No, we haven't mentioned that. But so I will be happy to come back.
Yes. Definitely.
Time for you.
Keep an ear out and an eye out. It might be sooner than later.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be ready.
Thank you. And go ahead. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. All the best. Take care. And we thank Peter Gracie of This is Jamaica, the author and the presenter of the This is Jamaica poem that you hear usually at the start and at the end of the program. But we're way over time, so we won't replay This is Jamaica poem right now because we're over time. Such has been the rich nature of the conversation with our guest this afternoon, Major Stanley Ford. Well done, Major Stanley Ford. Thank you so much and all the very best. More in a moment.
But trust me on the sunscreen.
And so, as we continue with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, it's a good time to welcome a very patient lady who has been waiting in the wings. She's Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson, Vice President of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy, UCCA, and she's going to be talking with us about the K-13 program. And we are ready to hear all about it. Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson, how are you? Good afternoon.
Fine, thank you, Dervan. It's indeed my pleasure to be here with you this afternoon.
Good to have you on board. Would love to hear more of you, except the sound. The audio is not 100%. Are you using the speakerphone component of the device? Uh-oh. Let's try and reconnect. Let's try and reconnect with Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson, Vice President of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy, UCCA. We're anxious to hear about the K-13 program, and we are standing by for more information on that. So let's try again, Dr. Donald Tomlinson, Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson. First of all, can you make a distinction between the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean and the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy? Is there a difference, or are they naturally intrinsically linked?
They're naturally intrinsically linked, Dervan. I like how you put it. So what happens is that the UCC Academy is by extension the TVET arm of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean.
Oh.
Right. So our main focus is on the skilled areas. So as we mentioned, the K-13 program, whereby the government seeks to extend school life beyond fifth form, students now have an option to pursue academic studies at a tertiary institution of their choice if they choose not to go to their traditional grade 12 or 13. So they can come to the University of the West Indies and they can do the traditional program, your tourism, your MIS, your maths and sales, etc. Or they could choose to do what we refer to as an occupational associate degree. And that's where the academy comes in.
Oh.
So 5 associate degrees, and those are notably allied health, construction site management, renewable energy, and we also offer business process outsourcing and allied health.
Is there a particular area that seems to be the most sought after as you have looked at the numbers?
Well, Dervan, I'm just so excited to be a part of the organization at this time, because what we find happening is that skills is slowly but surely taking off. But because we have areas like construction that is doing extremely well, but our flagship program will be the allied health and the logistics and supply chain management.
So, for example, construction, because I have reason to pass your campus more often than not, but I don't see where is it that there's an offsite campus or where you would do the construction component, or there is in fact an area at the UCC campus at Worthington where you actually have a space where that kind of practical component can be delivered.
Excellent question, Dervan. So all of our programs consist of a practical component, and what we do is that on a number of occasions, the students are required to do 240 hours of practical experience. So we form collaborations with construction companies, and so the students are able to get their practical experience on site. As we're speaking as well, we're currently in the building out of a lab where near the campus where students will get that kind of experience, additional as well, I should say, experience on the campus.
And that is quite enriching for them, isn't it? Because then, yes.
Amazing. Because what happens, Dervan, as you know, for many students, as soon as they get a job, the first question is, what kind of experience do you have? And so what these skill areas do, because of the compulsory internship that they need to do, it provides them with that edge over that student who would have not had that kind of practical experience.
I see. How about one moment, please. We need to take a break. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, our guest is Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson. She's Vice President of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy, UCCA. She's been talking with us about the K-13 program.
Or worry, but no one worry. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. The Issa Manning Cup Schoolboy Football Competition is in full swing, and Power Play will bring you live reports and updates on the football matches. Listen to every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM. Live reports will be brought to you by Jedi Distributors Limited, KFC, and Alice Duane and Company Limited.
Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在地点了10点10分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Well, there's a lady who has long done her homework. That's why she is Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson. That's why she's vice president of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy. That's why she is able to tell us about the K-13 program, because she has long done her homework. And so coming back from the break, we would imagine there would be those just joining us. Going to ask you, for the benefit of those just joining us, Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson, to remind us of what we're talking about when we talk about the K-13 program, because that is the subject and the substance of this segment.
So the K-13 program is a collaboration between tertiary institutions and the Ministry of Education. And it is out of this mandate, this drive to have school life extended beyond the sixth form, not just for those who can be accommodated in the traditional sixth form program, but also to make room for those who might have different interests and wish to pursue some other form of tertiary education. And I must mention, Dervan,
yes,
that what has happened is that as a result of the K-13 initiative, the government is sponsoring.
Sorry, we're losing you again. The audio not as strong as it was earlier.
I was saying to you that the great part about the K-13 program,
yes,
is that the government has granted a 2-year scholarship to all students who wish to take up the offer to extend the school life beyond the sixth form.
That's an important point.
That's
so
important.
Right, so it's a paid scholarship.
Yes, it is double.
Okay.
So
is it
so, feel like, boy, I want my child to go back to school, but I can't afford it.
Right.
This is indeed an amazing opportunity where the tuition fee is offset by the government. So anyone who is currently at home, probably pondering on your couch, what is the next move? You need to go online now and apply to the UCC online. And you can choose either to go to the academy or you can go to the mainstream university, which is University of Commonwealth Caribbean.
Well, what a thing. I'm sorry I can't roll back the hands of time, because when I had to go to sixth form, funds had to be found. I mean, when I look back at the funds now, it's not much looking back at what it was. But it still had to be found. Back then, it was a lot of money that we had to find.
Yes, Dervan.
Yes.
I just talk about time.
Yes.
So much has happened. I mean, I went to university, I paid $14,000, and I had to get a student loan.
Look at that.
I really have any,
Yes, because with inflation and all of and its related components, they naturally would have more to pay. No, they would need to pay more, I should say. They would need to pay more. And you're saying the government would be absorbing that cost to participate in the K-13 program.
That's correct, Dervan.
So there's no excuse for the youngsters.
No excuse.
Mm-hmm. Right. And this is for 2 years, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So let us say, like, we might have those students who have their 550.
Yes.
They can go into the Occupational Associate Degree program. And then you might have those students who might not have been so successful in their 50. There's still another pathway for them, which is known as pathway 2, that they can be enrolled in. And at the end of that program, which is a year, and the government also pays for that, they will secure a sitting in Master English along with the NCC vet qualification. So that's also excellent.
Wonderful. And otherwise, no. So the parents and guardians would otherwise need to just find the basics in terms of bus fare or taxi fare to go to school, right?
That's correct, Dervan. And what we have done, especially for the pathway 1,
yes,
it's a hybrid. So some days are online and some days are face to face.
Nice.
So we just trying to meet the needs of the students and the parents right where they are. I mean, one of the things about UCC is that we're an innovative university. We know that these are challenging times, and we're just trying to make education by partnering with the government more accessible to all students wherever they are.
Now, is it too late? Because the new school year, the new academic year started a month ago. Is it too late on this, the 4th of October, for some youngster who despaired or for whatever reason was not made aware of the K-13 program? Is it too late for these students to sign up, and to be a part of the K-13 program as it is administered at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy?
And that's why I want to thank you so much, Dervan, for having us, because this week is the last week. School officially starts on the 10th. But we are aware that there are some students who, for whatever reason, might have felt despondent and didn't get the subject of their choice, or just didn't get the information. So we're reaching out to the entire Jamaica. We're saying, if you're still not taking a program, haven't registered for the new semester, you need to do so now.
Yes, indeed. And where can they go right now? Is to the website? Is that it?
Straight to the website.
And that's UCC. Let me see if I can remember. Is it UCC?
www.ucc.edu.
.jm, I think. Right, ucc.edu.jm. So those of you who perhaps finished fifth form and you're still wavering and not sure what to do and where to go and how to use your time, we're going to suggest that you go to ucc.edu.jm, ucc.edu.jm, and follow. What do I click on here? Let me see. Home, events, about us, programs, students, library, tuition and fees, student referral, apply online.
They will see the program reviews and then they're supposed to apply online.
Okay, got you.
And therefore,
Yes.
you always have those curious persons who probably, just want to make sure that they get in.
Yes.
So I would suggest if you're anywhere and you'd like to come by, our address is at 17 Worthington Terrace. You can come onto the campus. We have a very hospitable staff, and we're always there to assist our students and parents.
All right. So, listeners, this is it's all a part of the sixth form pathways program, correct, Doc?
Yes, it is.
Right. So it's part of the sixth form pathways program, free tuition for 2022 grade 11 graduates, and you I mean, it doesn't get better than this, quite frankly. There are a lot of students who are attending other institutions and having issues in terms of being able to access, for whatever reason, financial, family matters, etc. And here's your opportunity to benefit from a free 2-year tuition as a grade 11 graduate through the sixth form pathways program at UCC and UCCA. We encourage you, we implore you, we beseech you to go ahead and take full advantage. How many days do they have? You said you're starting school on the 10th?
So we close on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that window.
Mm-hmm. We really hope they will come forward. Is there a number for those who prefer to just make a quick call? Is there a number that they can dial to get in touch with that particular department or unit or section at UCC?
Thanks, Dervan. The number is 906-3000, and you can dial any one of our extension 4000 or 393095. I want them to get to it. I'm even giving them the extension, Dervan.
So let's get that number again for those who are interested and would like to put through a call to ask questions, to clarify matters, and to get going in time to start school at UCC on the 10th of October.
So the number is 906-3000, extension 4000 or 3095.
Okay, 4,000. And I'm making a note of this because I'm sure people are going to call me off air. So it's 906 3000, extension 4000, or
they can, or 3095.
3095.
And Dervan, just
Yes.
to let you know that we have campuses in Maypen.
Oh yes, that's important information. After all, Kingston is not Jamaica. Please remind us of the other locations.
So we have locations in Kingston, as you know, Worthington Terrace, but we have Maypen, Mandeville, and Montego Bay, and Ocho. So even if they have queries, they can go to those locations as well.
Very good, very good. So give us those those campus sites again.
So we have locations in Mandeville, Maypen, Ocho, and Montego Bay.
All right, and no doubt, if you continue at this rate, chances are you're going to look to expand because the demand will grow.
Most certainly, our programs continue to grow. As you know, we are on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution, and the emphasis is really on skills. And we're seeing the results by students applying more and more to some of these non-traditional programs.
Very encouraging news. We want to thank you for the kind of innovation that you continue to demonstrate and creativity at the Caribbean, the Commonwealth Caribbean, University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy, and of course the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean proper itself, in terms of what is obviously a motivated team that you have there at UCC and UCCA, and the commitment is quite palpable. We want, as we said, to congratulate you on your programs, and all that's left for us to do is just to encourage the young people, please, instead of making that decision to put some green things in your palm and press them out and create what is called a spliff, or just lingering about the place and doing nothing. Here's an opportunity for you to take advantage of tuition-free education through the Pathways program, the sixth form Pathways program. Please, young people, don't waste these precious periods of your life. Please take advantage. Please, young people, we're appealing to you. Go ahead and take advantage of the sixth form Pathways program. Just call UCC or UCCA and make it clear what you're calling about and make it happen. Right? Take care. Thanks once again, Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson, Vice President of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy, UCCA, really giving the youngsters an opportunity, those listening, to take advantage of the K-13 program, the sixth form Pathways program. Thanks again.
Thank you so very much, Dervan, for having me.
It's been a pleasure. All the best. Good. Take care. Dr. Lilith Donald Tomlinson, Vice President of the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean Academy, UCCA, on the K-13 program. It makes sense.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
But trust me, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you can't grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. You are not...
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点加29分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? doing what they're supposed to be doing, it's a good time to check up on the children. And for those children who are eligible for the Sixth Form Pathways program, they could very well be doing associate degrees in logistics and supply chain management, restaurant operations, business process outsourcing, construction site management, renewable energy. You could pursue an associate degree in any one of those. And then they have the NCTVET skills program offering uh, for those with 1 to 3 CXCs, customer engagement and business process outsourcing also available. So take full advantage of those offerings at UCC and elsewhere where the Sixth Form Pathways program is being administered. The choice is yours. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Inez Iona Campbell. She says, good afternoon, everyone. Rainy day here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, USA. Blessings always. To you too, Inez Iona Campbell. Audrey Smith in Southampton, England, says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. I shall be in Jamaica in 2 days for a holiday. Hip, hip, hooray. Well done. We look forward to welcoming you home, Audrey Smith from Southampton in England. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you as well. Faye Weller, blessed day to you too. Sharon Richards in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, good afternoon. Greetings to Desreen Ferron. Thanks for tuning in. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says the previous book before the break sounds like it could be a movie in reference to one of the publications penned by our guest who joined us a short while ago in our This is Jamaica segment, Major Stanley Ford. We really have to get him back on. So much more to talk with him about. Some more messages coming through. Hello to Asha Ash. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, UK. Hope all is well. All is well. We give thanks, Asha Ash. Hope all is well with you too. Ras Ayuda, blessings to you too in the UK. Patrick Howell. Patrick says, Sir Malcolm, good day. The bridge in Troy is not just a talk shop, but an urgent appeal of the people of Trelawney and Manchester to get it constructed. My family is from Wilson's Run. Well, I have family from Troy, Patrick Howell. So I too have a vested interest there. But our hope is that people will not just, the public service will not just deal with people on the basis of who they know or who they're connected to, but on the basis of priorities when it comes to our infrastructure. Patrick Howell says the Troy Bridge links Trelawney with Manchester and tourists use it to travel to Noisy River, which is a tourist attraction. It links also to Balaclava and other cockpit areas. Beautiful area, says Patrick Howell. We believe you, Patrick Howell. Thanks for sharing. Sean Chambers, good afternoon to you. Donovan Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. To you too, Donovan Campbell. Sorry we weren't able to take, in fact, I don't recall taking any messages yesterday, did I? There's this long list of messages now from yesterday, and we're trying our best to see how we go about clearing. Rachel G says, if, let's see, horrible situation with those. Right. She was commenting on the stabbing incident. She says, good evening, good afternoon to you. She says, regarding that horrible situation with those 2 young girls in the school this week, I'm wondering what will it take for those who are in charge of education to take action. Metal detectors, bag search every day in all schools, Dervan. Lessons on social care, community development, healthy eating, health and safety, customer care and customer service. dealing with conflict, etc. All these things should be taught in school, says Rachel G. If those government people who are supposed to keep the streets clean, if those government people who are supposed to keep the streets clean, proper names on all the streets, good roads, proper sidewalks in all areas in Jamaica, garbage collection in all areas must be dealt with, and all the stagnant water all over the country must be dealt with too. Jamaica is the land of wood and water. It's full time to encourage healthy eating in schools, good organized schools with proper homegrown food. What we eat has got a lot to do with actions and attitude also. It is full time for the change. Let it begin at home, parents, says Rachel G. Thank you for your message, Rachel G. And this JPS damaged pole at 17 Augusta Drive. We did send the information to a representative from the Jamaica Public Service Company, and she has responded to say, thanks for this. I will ask a team member to call. Otherwise, right, all is well. Thank you very much for your message. Barry has sent us a link. We haven't the time to check that out now. Arlene says, Mr. Malcolm, I need your help. My country's future is dim. I'm talking to a teacher friend of mine, and she's explaining how you have students in high school and cannot read or write. She said it is troubling. Politicians, she said, promote these children to high school. Principal, she said, cover up these children. They are pushed in the technical schools. My friend said she has to take pills after class to calm her nerves. She said most teachers don't care. How can anyone come to such a conclusion? Was there a study or a survey done? The pay not good, the classroom hot, no equipment to use. My teacher friend is so stressed with the situation at school. Mr. Malcolm, what happened to Heart? The Heart Institute stopped pumping. Well, they are on TV every night. Is it just before primetime news or somewhere there after the first commercial break? If we don't educate our citizens, how is the country going to develop? Dervan, my country is in trouble. I am so depressed after listening to this teacher. We're sorry to hear that, Arlene. And we all should know by now that it is up to us to make this country a better place. Full stop. Only Jamaicans can fix Jamaica. Another of the messages, we're just clearing some that are no longer relevant and going through. And let's see. The child was found. Who is this now? The child was found in the Junction area, St. Bess. Please contact Junction Police for information. Which child was this now? Maybe from an earlier message? Well, Rico, give us some more information, please. And let's go down the line. Beresford, we haven't been able to check your video. Tony Kelly, we can't watch your video now. And let's go down the line here. Stretch, good to hear from you. Good to hear from you, Stretch. And we'll try and play the link when we're able to. This one says, good morning. All right, we'll have to put through a call there off air. There's so many messages. This one is about, this is from St. Catherine's South Police Division, Waterford Police District. Do it right the first time, presenting youth talent for transformation through the arts. And this will be held at Portmore Mall Well, the first audition is on Saturday, the 22nd of October at Portmore Mall, and it's free. Must be 18 to 29 years old, and they have lots of prizes. They're calling all singers, dancers, dub poets, disc jocks, bloggers, and they have lots of prizes. As we said, we wish them well. They're trying their best in the area of youth engagement. We wish them well. All the very best. Let's go on. A message from Dwight Peters in Paris. He says, cheers from Paris, blessings and positivity. And always send out positive energy. It always comes back. The universe aligns. Believe it. Yes, it melts the haters away too. Trust me. All right, Dwight Peters, good to hear from you. That's the Saint Model Mogul. Let's see who else is messaging us. Hello to Sharon Smith. It's been a while. She's celebrating. I think I know why she's celebrating. Let's see. Looks like Mozaine must have had a connection with Hosemati High School. It would appear so. Moses Sutherland, class of 1988, Hosemati High. His son Mozaine in the Digicel Rising Stars. Well, it worked out. He won. Yes, you all voted. And obviously he had to put in the work there as well. All the best. We didn't get to watch the final. In fact, we haven't been able to watch Rising Stars. But it's still going on. That's good. And who else is messaging us? Going down the line, Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Monday. This was yesterday. To you and your listeners, Mr. Malcolm, I just want to use this medium to express my sincere condolences to the family of the late Dr. Roosevelt Crooks, who passed away sometime last week. I have the honor of serving with him on the board of the Lay Magistrates Association of Jamaica St. Mary chapter. I always enjoyed his singing. May his soul rest in peace and light perpetual shine on him. Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. We join you in conveying those sentiments. We knew Dr. Roosevelt Crooks. We have done outside broadcasts involving Dr. Roosevelt Crooks, and we join you in conveying condolences. And let's see. Hello to Ambassador Curtis Ward, who is always on playing his part. And we need to break. All right, let's get ready to go to the break and come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 15. 现在 TDN 了5点加15分. 15 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? I'm not sure who this message was meant for. Can't relate, so we're going to move on. James in East London, thank you for the usual collection of stories from yesterday and also today. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, where does this message start? Good afternoon, Dervan. It's hard to comprehend the violence taking place in our nation's schools with the recent stabbing at Kingston Technical High. But what I found disturbing is the school provides metal detectors, but it's only boys go through it, girls don't. Instead are searched. I think I think I think both genders should go through the detector. Why single out boys and not include girls? The other thing is there is a lane at the back of the school which is only used occasionally.
There are two gates at the school, I hear.
Two.
They're passing the weapons from the bottom gate.
Oh, so there are a couple of gates. So those who are into the business of dealing in contraband, they bring it from the outside, from the bottom gate. I see. And the rest of the message goes on. No guard is at that gate, so some students pass their bags to their friends through the gate, then go through the front gate. By then, the weapons already inside the school compound. I see. This sounds like quite a scheme. I know that compound inside out. There are many places to conceal any weapons they want, but it's sad that our young people can't settle their dispute without resorting to violence. Some young people are like kings and queens in front of their parents and relatives, but behind their backs, it's a different story. Very sad indeed. H. Morgan in Birmingham, thank you for your message. And clearly, you have a level of awareness with respect to the surroundings of the institution. Yeah, yeah, it's been around for quite some time. About 130?
Between 28 to 30.
Okay, so at least more than 128 years old. My goodness, that's a lot of history. A lot of history. And in any other country in the world, these institutions that have been around for such a long time would be in better shape. Mind you, we have Woolmer's, which was established in 1729, which is the oldest of its kind in Jamaica. I used to say in the region as well until I found out about Combermere School in Barbados, which is older than Woolmer's here in Jamaica. But I don't think we cherish. You see how long these institutions have lasted and how long they have been serving us. One would imagine that over time these institutions would be further enhanced and further developed. But unfortunately, you still have instances where some of these institutions are struggling for resources and the kind of management that is key to the sustainability of the institution. These institutions are going to continue to outlive us, outlast us. And the least we can do is to leave our mark. And hopefully it's a positive one. Cuban in Georgia. Yeah, so 126. I don't want to make the mistake and call the Kingston Technical, 126 years of service to education in this nation. Cuban in Georgia says, well, he was on for a while earlier on, and he has also sent us a couple of messages. Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I miss former comrade leader Michael Manley and his father, Norman Manley. Sir, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica and the original President of the People's National Party of Jamaica. Thanks and please, every time Jamaica, stand above. Then he goes on to say, Sir Malcolm, I don't care who the guy is, as Bob Marley says. We're not giving up an inch of our black pass. All right. Sir Malcolm, we have to tell our young girls they have a place and a seat at the table. Our black young Jamaican women, we appreciate you all, says Cuban in Georgia. And let's see, we're trying to clear as many of the messages as possible. Please bear with us. I think we're Ricardo. Good afternoon to you, as usual. And we still have a few more. Velta Wilson, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. Donovan Campbell, good afternoon. Welcome as well. Thank you. Good to have you on board. Nicola in Central Jamaica, good afternoon to you. And hello to Elieja and Olivia. Good afternoon to you. Nardia says, good evening. Good afternoon, Nardia. She says, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. And you? She says, I would like for you to send birthday greetings to my sister, Janice, in England. Well, happy birthday, Janice, in England. What time is it in England now? 10:52 p.m., 8 minutes to 11 o'clock in the night. And Janice, we trust it's been a fantastic day for you as you celebrated your birthday. Janice in England, coming from Nardia, your sister. Hope she heard that. Thank you very much. And Ricardo went online and looked up Combermere School and confirms that it's one of the oldest schools in the Caribbean, having been established in 1695. And in fact, those associated with Combermere, it's the Drax family out of Barbados, who they're associated with Combermere School in Barbados, and what is now known as Jamaica College in Jamaica, because Jamaica College was started by Charles Drax. And that's why we have a place called Drax Hall in St. Anne. And he left his money for the founding of a school to serve the children of the former slaves. And that's how these institutions were established. So there's a connection between Combermere School in Barbados, which is the oldest or one of the oldest schools in the Caribbean, older than Woolmer's here in Jamaica. And they're also connected to Jamaica College, which was originally supposed to have been in St. Anne. That's where what is now known as Jamaica College should have been, in St. Anne. But that was long story. You can Google it. Let's see. Peter Gracie says, good evening, Mr. Dervan Malcolm. Good afternoon, Peter Gracie. He says, it's a pleasure to be alive, to tune on once again to a very familiar voice. So it is. And of course, he is representing his school, and we know him by their mottos. You shall know them. Fervet opus in campis. Whenever you hear that motto, it's Jamaica College's motto. Fervet opus in campis. What does it mean? Work is burning in the field. Work is burning in the field. It's just about time for us to get ready to say thanks once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 4th of October, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
If you compare yourself with others,
Okay.
you may become vain and bitter for always.